Okay, so welcome to another deep dive.
Uh-huh.
Today, we're going to be looking at this text about a pretty powerful concept,
Mm.
divine blessing, as an inheritance for believers in Christ.
Right.
And we're going to specifically explore what's meant by the blessing of Abraham and
Yes.
who exactly is supposed to receive it according to this source.
Yeah, exactly. The material that we have here is an excerpt. It focuses on this new covenant of grace and how Christ's work brings redemption. And it talks about this inheritance, this blessing that's linked to Abraham. And our goal is to really understand what this text says that blessing is and what it means for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the big question that we want to answer is, what is, according to this text, what is the blessing of Abraham, and how does it become available to those who believe in Christ?
Okay, yeah.
So the text kind of starts by making the significant point that Christ's death actually freed believers from the curse of the law.
Right.
And the purpose behind this is so that the blessing of Abraham might come upon the Gentiles in Christ Jesus.
Yeah, and I think what's so fascinating right away is this connection that it makes. It's not just about, escaping something negative. Like we're not just getting out of trouble. We're actually gaining something specific.
Right.
This blessing of Abraham.
That's not just like a, get out of jail free card. It's like something that you're actually getting.
Exactly. And the text is very clear that this isn't just any general blessing, like, good luck, have a nice day. This is a particular one.
Yeah.
We got to figure out what this is.
Exactly. It's not, good vibes. It's like a specific blessing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the text is really pressing on us to understand the nature of this blessing.
Yeah.
And it says to do that, like to figure out what it is, it directs our attention to a passage in Galatians chapter 3, verse 29,
Yeah.
which basically says that if you are Christ's, then you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise.
Right.
So the text is saying, like, if you belong to Jesus,
Mm.
you're not just blessed in some vague way,
Mm-hmm.
but you're actually an heir
Yes.
to a specific promise that's tied to Abraham.
Yeah, that idea of being an heir is so key. The text really emphasizes that this isn't something that you earn through your own efforts.
Right.
An inheritance is something that's received simply because of your belonging, because of who you're connected to. And here, that belonging is to Jesus.
Right.
And that makes you an heir. So this really highlights the grace-based nature of this blessing, which is so central to this idea of the new covenant.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next logical question that I think we have to answer is like, okay, but what is this specific promise that we're inheriting?
Right.
Because the Bible has a lot of promises in it. We're talking about the promise to Abraham.
Right, yeah.
And the text takes us to Romans 4.13. It says, for the promise that he would be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith.
Mm.
So if we connect all these ideas, the core of Abraham's blessing, according to this text, is being the heir of the world.
That's right.
This isn't some kind of abstract spiritual concept. This is connected to something really, really real.
Yeah, yeah,
And to really understand the fullness of this inheritance, the text takes us all the way back to the original Greek word that's used for world, which is cosmos.
Yes.
And it explains that cosmos basically encompasses the whole circle of earthly goods, endowments, riches, advantages, pleasures.
Wow.
I mean, that's a pretty big inheritance.
Yeah, it really paints a picture of a substantial inheritance,
Huh.
And the text is suggesting that through what Christ has done, believers are heirs to all of this. The goods, the endowments, the riches, the advantages, even the pleasures of the world.
Yeah, it's not just, going to heaven when you die. It's like all this stuff here on earth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that kind of raises a significant point for us to think about, like, how might understanding this shift our perspective on, our lives and what's available to us?
Right, right.
Yeah. And the text ends by really encouraging us to embrace this understanding of our inheritance in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
It's not saying that this is something to feel ashamed of, but that this is like the promise, capital T, capital H, capital E, made to Abraham and all his descendants.
Right.
Which, if you're in Christ, includes you.
And me.
So, yeah, in summary, this deep dive into this text reveals the blessing of Abraham in this specific context as a pre-comprehensive inheritance for believers in Christ.
Yes.
And it's received through faith. This inheritance positions you as an heir of the world, encompassing all of its earthly benefits.
That's powerful.
Yeah. So with that in mind, here's something to kind of leave you with. If you really grasped that you were an heir of the world through your faith, how might that change the way you approach your everyday life? How would it influence your understanding of God's provision for you? And what would it mean for you to fully embrace this inheritance without reservation?
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's definitely something we're thinking about some more. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.